Hello. Today is a second line day. We are in gate 31 and line 2 is called Arrogance. The lower trigram of gate 31 is involved in personal destiny. They are much more concerned about leading themselves than they are about leading anyone else. And they're more concerned about not being led by anyone but themselves. In the second line, we have these natural leaders, they're wandering around. They don't know that about themselves, of course. And somebody knocks on their door and says to them, you would be so good as our council representative. When you come to the second line, you come to people who are projecting out that they are the leader or that they have leadership skills. This is how it is, but leadership is something that takes time. You have to develop leadership skills. You have to go through a process. If you're 5 years old and you're out there yelling, I'm the leader, follow me, you may run into difficulties. Of course, if you're 40 years old and you haven't figured it out yet, and you're out there yelling, I'm the leader, follow me, you will also run into difficulties. And so we have a lifetime learning here that says independent action without guidance. These people don't want to be guided. They don't want anyone to say to them, you could be our council representative. They're not interested in that. The harmony on the other side of the channel in gate 7, line 2, is the Democrat. Imagine that you have a group of people in the room and they have to elect somebody as the leader. And there's one person they want to elect, but that person doesn't want to have anything to do with it. And they won't submit their name. But if everybody unanimously turns up and says, you are the one that we want you to do this, then they're able to accept. And they can be really arrogant as a result of that. I'm the leader, you chose me, and I can do anything I want to do now because you chose me, and I didn't want to do it. And of course, that's their excuse when they mess up. It's like, well, I didn't ask for the job, you asked me to do it. In the exaltation, we have the dedication to higher principles that cannot wait for consensus. Leadership that is, leadership that cannot wait for consensus. This is arrogance. This is someone who wants to lead, but people are not paying any attention to them. So they think that they'll do something in order to get the attention of others so that others can see that, they're really there to lead them. We look again at the lifetime learning, the independent action without guidance. Ra used to tell people with this line that they're not here to be led. And because of that, even when they're young, because they want to go their own way, they're considered to be arrogant. It's like they don't realize yet that they can only really get things done when there is somebody else. You don't lead on your own. This is something that they have to learn. In the detriment, we have a reasoned arrogance that out of nervous tension jumps the gun and often misfires. The drive for expression that cannot wait and may cost leadership. This is just about being called out and immaturely saying, well, I didn't want to do that. I didn't put my name down. And there can be all of this pressure on you because everybody thinks you can do it. This is what you're projecting. You can do it. And so you try to lead, but you don't have what it takes. And that can be really humiliating. And you imagine a child with this 31 line 2. They have to be educated. Ra always said second lines, especially when they're young, they need education. They have to be aware that this is something that they can learn about themselves. And it's very important because others will see it in them. They will see it and call it out. You can't help that if you're a second line. This is the mechanic. This is the way we are designed to operate. But if this child knows it, if they've been educated, then it won't be such a surprise to them to learn. And somebody knocks on their door, calls them out to be the leader. They will maybe expect it, or at least when it happens, they will acknowledge why. In the second line, there's no guarantee that the leadership projection carries with it anything that's actually worth transferring. They can only be checked out in that sense by the people who want to follow. these people who jump the gun and say, I'm ready to lead, they are often paper tigers. And they can't lead. Not at all. They don't have what it takes. It's one of the most common things you see in, say, like a coup d'etat, is that when you have a bunch of generals who all get together and they form a committee and they are all co-presidents, but one of them is a sort of make-believe figurehead, if you like. That's sort of the ceremonial leader. One of them always gets to that position, but that person is then toppled immediately after the coup, and then the real one shows up. These people can be paper tigers because they're saying, yes, I'm the one, I've got the power to lead. And because they're projecting that out, other people can say, oh, aren't they arrogant? What makes them think they can actually lead us? If you cannot get easy access to energy, which this logical system does not have, then you have to find another way to get energy. Every political party seems to have some kind of dirt on their hands because they're always, digging into the money somewhere. Doesn't matter how pretty their name is on the surface, when you get down to the nitty-gritty, they're all just scrounging around for energy. And in doing that, all kinds of problems exist. And that's just the way things are in this not self, third line materialistic planet that we're riding around on. Gate 41 in the line 2 is called caution. Oh, pretty perfect, really, for a grounding line for arrogance. Show some care with your arrogance. Why not? Not that you necessarily can, of course, if it's your nature and you're correct. That's just how it's going to be. But all the same, this could be a safe kind of grounding for the 32 line 2. Mercury today goes into the tribal sacral gate 59 at 3:43 actually, so it's already gone in this morning. This is the gate of dispersion. Hold on, 3:43. Actually, it might be tomorrow morning. I should check that. Can you just give me a moment and I will just check my notes here to see what time. Okay, I'm not sure. Mercury is either moving today or tomorrow. Helpful, huh? But tune into it for yourself and find out. Are you aware of when Mercury is on the move? Because maybe this is your opportunity, because it sure as hell isn't mine. Gate 59 is sexuality, it's dispersion. It is the ability to break down those auric barriers in order to find union. Union which comes in many shapes and forms, of course. It's a gate that can be very fertile when it comes to new projects and also not. There could be new business agreements as well as new relationships, intimate relationships. But because of the power of this gate to break down those barriers and to really find a union that matters, using strategy and authority, of course, is going to be really important. Partly just to be correct, but also it's, you're looking after your energy here. And when you are breaking down auras or breaking through auras, this means you're having some kind of an impact on another. So again, a really good reason to be correct. And most other people that you meet, unless you live in a human design community, most other people are not operating by their strategy and authority. They don't know about these mechanics, these energetics. So that gives us maybe a little extra need to look after ourselves. We can't, necessarily look after anybody else, but we can certainly bring that awareness for ourselves and our own process. The moon is still in the abstract solar plexus gate 36, and it moves into the centering G center gate at 12:57. And this is gate of innocence. This is the gate of the spirit of the self, the perfection of action through uncontrived and spontaneous natures. There's a quality of the impersonal here. In the universal love is a sort of a cool love. It's not personal at all, which is why it's called impersonal. I'm doing well today, aren't I? Okay, moving on. Gate 17, let's go there. Logical Ajna gate. The moon transits in here at 22:19. This is the gate of following, the gate of opinions, the ancient law that those who wish to rule must know how to serve. So all these awareness centers, as we know, we've been going through this and gaining our own awareness around the awareness centers. They have a fear, an anxiety, or a nervousness as part of their mechanic. And gate 17 has a mental anxiety that its opinions will not be considered valuable, or they won't be listened to at all. They will be ridiculed. There'll be something around that causes some anxiety in this gate 17. Maybe they don't have enough detail if they haven't got gate 62 at the other end of the channel, and so they won't be able to really give their opinions any weight. Yeah. Finally, you'll be glad to know the moon is visiting the tribal ego gate 21 at 7:42 tomorrow morning. So that's going to be actually most of tomorrow morning, depending, of course, what time zone you're in. I'm in apparently British summertime. Biting through the gate of the hunter or the huntress. This gate brings us the justified and necessary use of power in overcoming deliberate and persistent interference, because this is the gate of control. Do not interfere with me. I'm not interested in your deliberate and persistent interference. Nice to be able to stand up and say that and know that you're correct in doing it and you're not just being an arsey old tart, isn't it? This can be a very strong force on the material plane, with a need to be responsible and in control of life's necessities, whether that's food or territory or clothing or feeding blackbirds. There's a blackbird out there who really wants to be in control of what's going on. I'm getting persistent interference from a blackbird, so I'm going now. These are the energies that are around us in the next 24 hours. Remember that unless you have a gate consistently activated in your design, it's all just weather. Yeah, it may affect us and quite deeply sometimes, but we can still learn, just to hold it lightly and to know that it will pass eventually. And with our openness, wherever we're open, we're designed to be a filter. We're designed to learn about the qualities of that openness because it's where we go to school, but we're not a sponge. We're not supposed to hold on to those energies. Okay, that's me done. I shall go feed blackbirds and I will see you again tomorrow for a third line day. Yeah. Okay, good luck. I don't know, there's something going on today. Yes, go gently. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to go gently now.